New tonight, it's official. A new transportation center is replacing the old one in Claymont. Plus, a popular airline is suspending most of its flights at a local airport. How you'll be affected. And Delaware has made the top 3 list in a recent survey, and unfortunately, it's not a list we want to be on. Those stories and much more straight ahead tonight on DETV News. Good evening and welcome to DETV News. I'm Matt Ford. Thanks for joining us tonight. Topping the news today, the murder of a local pro boxer. Wilmington police say 36-year-old Samuel Tia, known in the boxing world as Tsunami Sam, was fatally shot the day after Thanksgiving. The shooting happened in Wilmington's Hedgeville neighborhood shortly before 2 p.m. Tia was transported to an area hospital where he later died. According to published reports, the Philadelphia boxer was in Wilmington visiting the mother of his child when he was killed. While social media posts have been flooding in from Philly's boxing community, police have been tight-lipped about details and have not revealed the motive for the crime. And in other news, Delaware State Police are asking for the public's help to solve a crime. Have you seen this man on your screen? Investigators say he entered the Walmart on Jerome Drive in Dover yesterday around 8:15 p.m. and demanded cash from an employee at the money services desk. The bandit implied that he had a gun. The employee complied, of course, and the suspect fled in this silver Nissan Altima with an undisclosed amount of cash. Now, if you have any information that may lead to the arrest of the suspect, you are asked to call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-TIP. 3333. And in other news from Dover tonight, 2 women are behind bars charged with reckless endangerment. Investigators say the 2 women seen here were fleeing from a shooting scene. When police stopped the women, they found that 2 loaded 9mm handguns were in their vehicle. And reports indicate that a 30-year-old unidentified woman was reportedly being shot at but was not hurt. The 2 women are now being held at Baylor Women's Prison in Newcastle. Further downstate, a real murder mystery. It happened in Bridgeville over the Thanksgiving weekend. Police say a 26-year-old man was talking with a large group of people when somebody in the crowd shot the victim. The crowd cleared, leaving the victim, Daquan Lake, in the street. He was taken to a nearby hospital where he later died. Police are asking anyone who may know something about the killing to again call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-TIP 3333. And further north now in Claymont, a new transportation center, Delaware's congressional delegation along with state and federal transportation officials cut the ceremonial red ribbon yesterday. Also on hand was former State Senator Harris McDowell, and for good reason. The center now bears his name. McDowell represented the 1st District, which is home of the $90 million facility. More than half of the funding came from the federal government. About 1,200 commuters use the Claymont site on an average day alone. The new center includes more than 800 parking spaces, EV charging stations, and bike racks. SEPTA trains and bus service for both DART and SEPTA will begin this coming Monday. And in other news, enrollment at Delaware State University has reached a record high, making it the fastest growing HBCU in the country. Fall enrollment numbers show an increase of 3.5% from last year and 23% since the year 2020. And that's not all. DSU graduate students are also up by 7% to nearly 900 students. DSU President Tony Allen says Del State is going in the opposite direction of a national trend. More than 6,400 students are now enrolled, but he hopes to see that number jump to 10,000 by the end of the decade. And thanks to a new state grant program, small businesses can get help boosting global sales. Export Delaware is taking applications now for the program called Compass Grant. Here's how it works. Businesses could be reimbursed for up to 50% of all pre-approved eligible international marketing and travel expenses. Small businesses that have been in operation for at least 1 year can apply for these Compass grants. For more information, contact the website seen there on your screen. And DENREC's surf fishing permits and annual passes went on sale earlier today. The Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Control says passes can be purchased online at their state parks or at their Dover headquarters. Annual passes will set you back $35 for residents and $70 for non-residents. Surf fishing permits are $90 for residents and $180 for non-residents. Senior and military discounts are also available. Now, you may recall from last year that surf fishing permits now require a reservation for peak holidays and weekends between Memorial Day and Labor Day. DENREC says an annual pass allows access to state parks during the season from March 1st through November 30th. Surf fishing permits enable year-round beach driving. An auction of low-digit surf fishing license plates also began November 21st and will remain live at usgovbid.com through Thursday, December 7th. And those of you who've gotten hooked on flying out of the Wilmington airport, well, you're going to be grounded on some flights until the spring. Here's what's going on. Avelo Airlines suspended 8 flights because of scheduled heavy maintenance on 2 Boeing 737 planes. One plane will be worked on while the other continues to fly out of the remaining nonstop destinations. The arrival of a new 3rd plane has been delayed, which forced the airline to suspend more than half of its flights. The 8 flights affected are seen here on your screen. For more details, you can check with Avelo Airlines to find out the dates and times of when these flights listed will resume. Planning to send a holiday gift? Well, if you are, you better plan ahead. Since Christmas falls on a Monday this year, domestic packages should be sent as early as December 13th. That's according to 2 of the 3 largest carriers. The last day for ground delivery by the post office is Saturday, December 16th. For FedEx, it's the 13th for economy delivery and December 15th for ground delivery. UPS recommends checking its website for delivery dates and times. The bottom line is simply plan ahead if you want those packages under the tree on Christmas Day. And speaking of holiday packages, Newcastle County Police are reminding shoppers 'tis the season for porch pirates. To safeguard your deliveries, think about these tips. Consider using Amazon lockers or in-store pickups. Ask a trusted neighbor to pick up your packages for you. Keep track of your packages by monitoring tracking numbers given to you. Have packages delivered to your job that require a signature request, and request that signatures be left out in plain view. And you can also, of course, install a security camera that many of us have at our homes. And last but not least, you're going to want to report any suspicious behavior to authorities. According to a recent analysis by Forbes, Delaware is the 3rd worst state in the country for porch piracy. That's the term given to thieves who cruise around neighborhoods looking for packages to snatch from people's doorsteps. And finally tonight, a look back on the beloved tradition. As always, the annual JC's Christmas Parade was a crowd-pleasing hit over the weekend. The streets of downtown Wilmington were filled with people who come year after year, with this year marking the 59th annual parade. Everyone from the Newcastle County Mounted Police Patrol to the Brandywine SPCA got in step for the walk around the heart of downtown Wilmington. Topping the day off was Small Business Saturday. Stores and eateries remained open with special deals to entice shoppers to get ready for the holiday season. And it was certainly nice to see so many people out enjoying the parade and, of course, supporting our small businesses here in the city of Wilmington. Topping the news today, shots were exchanged between a known Greenwood fugitive and state police detectives during a Tuesday night arrest attempt. Police are still searching for the 27-year-old man that they say ran from the scene. Brian Holben was in the parking lot of 4937 Hickman Road about 9:30 p.m. when spotted by police. That's according to a press release that was issued earlier this afternoon. Described as a known fugitive with multiple warrants out for his arrest, police initiated a traffic stop. Holman then attempted to flee by pushing two state police vehicles out of the way. When detectives then attempted to remove him from the Jeep, he pulled a handgun and fired at police. Police returned fire before Holman ran into a wooded area. Now, there were no injuries reported. Police are warning residents to stay away from the man, who is armed and dangerous, and to call 911 immediately if you see him. As is standard procedure, the troopers who fired their weapons have been placed on administrative leave. An investigation into the use of force will be conducted. Holman faces attempted murder charges, 2 counts of reckless endangerment, and possession of a firearm during another crime. Police are asking anyone with information to call the state police number seen there at the bottom of your screen. And a 39-year-old man is dead after being shot inside a home near Wilmington's Brandywine Village neighborhood. It happened Tuesday night, just after 9 p.m. in the 200 block of West 20th Street. Police responded to reports of a shooting. Once there, officers found the man critically injured. Police haven't said whether the man died on the scene or whether he was taken to the hospital and succumbed to his injuries there. Detectives continue to investigate and will release the man's name once his family has been notified. And the Wilmington Police Department has also identified the man who was fatally struck by a DART bus Monday morning. This is 38-year-old Glenn DuPont. Police said DuPont was found injured in the 100 block of North Monroe Street in Wilmington shortly before 6 a.m. on Monday. He then later died. The crash is still under investigation. Anyone with information about this incident is asked to contact Corporal Keith Johnson at 302-571-4415. And down Sussex County now, an Ocean View woman was sentenced to 42 months in prison for distribution of methamphetamine. It's a family affair for 35-year-old Melanie Mitchell. Her husband, Vincent Mitchell, was sentenced in September to 48 months for the same exact offense. According to court documents, in July of 2022, investigators executed a search warrant at the Mitchell's Ocean View home and seized 1 pound of methamphetamine and $6,000 in cash. The investigation revealed that on a monthly basis, the Mitchells drove from Ocean View up to Philadelphia, where they bought a pound of methamphetamine, which they then sold back down in the Ocean View area. And Governor John Carney has ordered Delaware flags to be lowered at half-staff at all state facilities through sunset today, Wednesday, November 29th. It's to honor former First Lady of the United States, Rosalynn Carter. The former First Lady died on November 19th at the age of 96. The governor's office says Carter advocated for equal rights and opportunities for women, people with disabilities, and advancements in mental health initiatives throughout her life in public service. And the family of a missing Oxford, Pennsylvania man last seen in Wilmington is hoping someone has information on his whereabouts. 42-year-old Bobby L. Pipkin was last seen leaving a family party on Van Buren Street around 1 a.m. on Saturday, November 25th. He was seen driving a black 2021 Mitsubishi Outlander SUV with a license plate number LJY4214. Pipkin's sister, Dawn, said it was highly unusual for him, who was born and raised in Wilmington, not to show up for work or keep in contact with his family. He is married with 2 children and also has 2 grandchildren. Pipkin was described by family as 6 foot tall, 4 inches, with short black hair, brown eyes, and tattoos on both arms and hands. The family is distributing flyers around the city of Wilmington and surrounding areas, asking anyone with information to please come forward. If you, of course, have any information, please call Wilmington Police at the number there on the bottom of your screen. Turning now to the political landscape here in the first state, Democratic dominance is causing concern for some, particularly among Republicans who fear an imbalance of power in the General Assembly. Currently, the state Senate reflects a supermajority with 6 Republican senators and 15 Democrats. In the House, the split is 26-14 with 1 vacant seat. Republican State Representative Brian Shoup from Milford is sounding the alarm, expressing worry that if Democrats secure just 3 more seats, they could pass legislation and amendments without any opposition. Shoup encouraged voters to look beyond party lines, advising not to get distracted by national politics and don't think about Democrat versus Republican, but look at the person that is running, look at what they've done for the community and what they plan to do once they're in office. Meanwhile, a special election is scheduled for December 21st to replace Republican Representative Ruth Briggs King of Georgetown. With 1 Democrat and 1 Republican vying for the seat, this election could serve as a critical juncture, either reinforcing or challenging the existing political dynamics in the state. And Seaford City Councilman Matt McCoy is throwing his hat in the ring for Delaware State Senate. Councilman McCoy announced Monday that he's officially running to represent Delaware's 21st senatorial district. Having spent his entire life in Seaford, Councilman McCoy says he knows firsthand how to serve the community and that it's time that the people have one of their own representing them in Dover. McCoy says a top priority, if he's elected, would be finding ways to crack down on crime. The councilman currently serves as the board president for the Western Sussex Boys and Girls Club. He says if elected, he will lead with transparency and work hard to fight for the issues that matter to the people. Councilman McCoy is running in the Republican primary against incumbent state senator Bryant Richardson. Delaware's primary election is set for Tuesday, September 10th, 2024. Turning now to health news, HIV prevention drugs could be free for some Americans. The drug PrEP would be free in pill form for those 65 and older under the Biden administration's Medicare plan. Putting things into perspective, that drug can cost more than $20,000 per year. According to HIV.gov, those 50 and older make up half of all people in the United States already living with HIV. With legislation still pending, it's unclear what this would mean for taxpayers. We do want to remind viewers that there are resources statewide for those living with HIV. Those include the Delaware HIV Consortium, AIDS Delaware, and Camp Rehoboth. And in anticipation of the 35th World AIDS Day on December 1st, advocates here in Delaware are grappling with the impending challenges in the fight against HIV. The state, which currently houses almost 3,800 individuals living with the disease, is facing a significant hurdle as the Division of Public Health announced budget cuts of approximately $1.8 million in HIV prevention programs starting next year. These cuts, attributed to reductions in federal funding, are expected to impact early intervention services, HIV counseling, testing, and outreach across the state of Delaware. The reduction in funding is set to affect about 8 providers in the first state, with 4 contracts being completely eliminated. The remaining community-based organizations will also experience funding reductions, leaving the full extent of the impact uncertain. Tyler Burrell, the executive director of the Delaware HIV Consortium, expressed his concerns about the cuts earlier today on Good Morning Wilmington.
There are roughly 4,000 people living with HIV here in Delaware. There's been roughly 6,500 people diagnosed since 1981 here in Delaware. And we're doing really good things. We have community-based organizations that are specialized in serving their individual populations.
Right.
We have antiretroviral, or we have pharmaceutical medicines that if you're living with HIV, can ensure that you live a life that's equal to that of those who are not living with HIV.
Right.
We have really good prevention tools that you can choose to take what's the best modality for you, and we have community-based organizations who can provide those to you. Mm-hmm. So we have everything that we need to stop HIV here in Delaware in its tracks. Mm-hmm. But I say it's uncertain because we're fighting at crosswinds. We're dealing with an HIV apathy that people think that HIV is solved, and it's not.
That's the way it looks. I mean, you don't hear too much about it anymore. And COVID came, and it put it in the back burner, back of people's heads.
Exactly.
Minds.
And so what we're saying is that for the 5 years leading up to COVID, We are dealing with less than 100 diagnoses of people living with HIV every year here in Delaware. So every AIDS service organization who provides HIV prevention services in the community where it's trusted, it's going to be hit by this. That means staffing cuts. It's going to mean less services and populations who need real true services in places that they trust aren't going to have the services available to them. Wow. And so I say that we're at a crossroads because, every dollar that comes out of the community,
right,
again, cut less money from the federal government, is a service that's not going to be provided in the areas that need it.
Wow.
And so there's things, there's things that we can do. Our community-based organizations who are providing these services are still trying to do everything that they can to stretch the dollars.
Right.
Trying to do it.
Right.
We also know that we need to be pushing on the state to put out additional dollars. That is state funds, not federal funds, because Delaware's in the minority that they don't provide a direct amount of money for HIV prevention services themselves. So we need state funding as well. And then, we again need to do everything that we can as a community to continue to provide these services, because we don't want any new person diagnosed with HIV who didn't have to be, because we are seeing cuts in funding.
And the national rates of infant mortality are the highest they've ever been in 2 decades. Fortunately enough, though, Delaware is seeing the opposite trend. Our infant mortality rate has dropped by 43%, hovering around 5.1 per 1,000 live births, with the U.S. national rate being at 5.4. Health officials say infant mortality affects more communities than others as health disparities grow. Black infant mortality rates are about 3 times the rate of white infant mortality rates, and the Hispanic infant mortality rate is about 2 times the white infant mortality rate. The Delaware Division of Public Health says there are a few causes of infant mortality. Those are managing a healthy weight before you get pregnant, managing your chronic health conditions, and getting your mental health in order before getting pregnant are a few. There will be a town hall held this Thursday surrounding maternal and child health care. That's going to be at Delaware Technical Community College. You can visit Delaware Thrives for more information about healthy maternal choices. Turning to education news now, it appears a school in Wilmington that serves the often neglected student will be given another chance to bring up enrollment numbers and keep its doors open. The Charter School Accountability Committee on Tuesday recommended the renewal of Great Oaks Charter School with 16 conditions. Great Oaks is one of 6 charter schools in Delaware up for renewal this year. State law requires charters apply for renewal every 5 years and must submit information on enrollment, academic performance, finances, facilities, and more. Great Oaks serves a unique student body. Nearly 98% of students are minority, 1/3 receive special education services, 15% have been incarcerated, 10% are parents, and 5% are in foster care or are homeless. The school was placed on formal review last year because of low enrollment numbers. At 148 students, the school serves 37% fewer students than its authorized enrollment. Well, despite its small size, the school has made great strides in many areas in recent years. According to school leaders, Great Oaks has seen improved scores in math, reduced chronic absenteeism, fewer suspensions, and greater numbers of applications. The process also requires that the Secretary of Education and the State Board of Education approve the renewal. That determination and vote is expected at the December 14th meeting of the State Board. And in the spirit of the season, Santa Claus himself helped kick off the holiday festivities at Newcastle County's Rockwood Park and Museum. The Jolly Man in Red joined County Executive Matt Meyer and students from Ursuline Academy for a festive Q&A session. Elementary school students representing Ursuline Academy's 2nd through 4th grade classes gathered at Rockwood Park to ask Santa some tough questions. The event aligned with the theme of Rockwood's holiday exhibition titled Visions of Sugar Plums. The exhibition will feature candy, kid-friendly decorations, and representations of gift giving, providing a unique perspective on Rockwood Museum's history. The holiday exhibition kicks off this Friday and Saturday with the Rockwood Holiday Open House. It's a free event from 5 to 9 p.m. featuring Santa Claus, performances from local schools, local food vendors, and museum tours. And for those who can't make it during the week, no worries. Rockwood Park and Museum offers winter nights on December 8th and 9th and 15th and 16th. These free tours provide visitors with the unique opportunity to experience the museum's holiday decorations, both inside and outside, creating a festive, enchanting atmosphere. And in a major sports development, the University of Delaware has confirmed its move to college sports' highest level by joining Conference USA in 2025. University president has highlighted the move as an opportunity to increase exposure for athletic programs and enhance awareness of academic offerings. The Blue Hens will participate in various sports within Conference USA. The move comes after years of planning and significant investments, including a $60 million upgrade to the football stadium. Joining Conference USA also comes with a hefty price tag, with associated fees totaling $6 million, funded mostly by donors. Despite the cost, the move is expected to be financially lucrative for UD, with Conference USA's TV broadcast rights deal worth significantly more than previous arrangements with the Colonial Athletic Association. The transition will take 2 years, and while UD can compete in the football championship subdivision next year, it will not be eligible for the subdivision's annual playoff bracket. The university's current football season continues, but if they make the move, their last chance to win another football championship subdivision title would be this season. The move also raises the possibility of midweek football games for UD. This is a departure from the traditional Saturday schedule at the football championship subdivision level. Negotiations for previously scheduled games beyond 2024 will be necessary, potentially impacting matchups with Penn State and Delaware State University. And it appears the phenomenon is continuing. No, this isn't about Taylor Swift or Travis Kelce. This year has belonged to one character, and 2023 is the year of Grimace. First, there was the Grimace Shakes, then came Grimace Crocs, then came Grimace at the Macy's Thanksgiving Holiday Parade just last week. Now, McDonald's is launching the Grimace Ugly Sweater for Christmas. Here it is here. According to the Instagram account @Snackalator, the sweater will be available at goldenarchesunlimited.com. That's McDonald's merchandise store. The sweater will cost you $65. The purple knit sweater features Grimace's face and, of course, those famous golden McDonald's arches. If you get one, please send us a pic. We definitely want to feature it here on the news. I'm going to try to get one to wear. I'm sure my producer will just love it.
Topping the news, a parent's worst nightmare. An Amber Alert was issued last night around 5:30 when a car was stolen with a 1-year-old baby inside of it. Journey Pennywell was in the back seat when a man dressed in a gray hoodie, a black jacket, and camo pants jumped inside the car that police say was left running. It happened at a 7-Eleven near I-95 and the 273 interchange in Ogletown. The good news, Journey was found safe in a Philadelphia area around 6:50 p.m. She apparently was dropped off in front of a liquor store and later taken to a hospital by police. As for the driver and the car, both are still missing. Here's the car. It's a 2010 gray Nissan Altima with a Delaware license plate 562644. Police believe the man didn't act alone. He may have gotten out of a black Nissan Rogue or a Mazda 6 at the 7-Eleven before stealing the car. That car also drove off in the same direction. If you have any information, call Crime Stoppers immediately at 1-800-TIP-3333. And state police are investigating a deadly pedestrian accident. It happened Wednesday evening on Route 13 in Blackbird. According to investigators, a 21-year-old woman from Townsend was walking southbound in the roadway around 5:30 p.m. She was wearing dark clothing and the area was poorly lit. The victim was hit by a car and thrown to the ground, where she was then hit by a pickup truck and a small SUV. All of the drivers involved stayed at the location. The woman was pronounced dead at the scene. Her name is being withheld until her family is notified. In news from Newcastle County Police, an alleged drug dealer is behind bars tonight. He is 26-year-old Isaiah Melton. Melton is charged with possession of a deadly weapon during the commission of a felony, along with a number of drug charges. Investigators say he's linked to a North Wilmington fatal overdose that occurred in October. Police searched Melton's home and found crack cocaine, 25 bags of heroin, and a loaded handgun. Newcastle County Police also arrested an alleged porch pirate thanks to surveillance video from a doorbell camera. 58-year-old Michael McCamey was charged with package thefts after officers were called to the communities of Belmore and Maryland Park apartments. He was caught on camera. He's been charged with theft and trespassing. Police are reminding residents to take precautions around this time of year. Doorbell cameras are crucial, but you can also safeguard your packages by having them sent to Amazon lockers, a trusted neighbor, or even your job. Tomorrow is the start of Safe Family Holiday Month in Delaware. Governor John Carney signed a proclamation today at the Chase Fieldhouse. The staff of the Bluecoats were on hand for the occasion. An oversized pledge card was signed promising to prevent the holidays from getting ugly. How? By driving safely and taking steps necessary to avoid accidents. Pledge cards will also be handed out to Bluecoats fans who can sign them so they can be displayed at the Fieldhouse during the month. Wilmington's Rodney Square was where a march and rally was held Tuesday afternoon. Disgruntled members of Local 32BJ of the Service Employees International Union gathered there. Joining them were Senators Tizzy Lockman and Sarah McBride. The union is made up of more than 600 commercial cleaners and building workers in Wilmington and Newcastle County. The union workers are demanding a new 4-year contract. Members say the most recent contract cut salaries and vacation time, along with offering a minimum wage increase. A similar rally was held in Philadelphia. The University of Delaware is set to host a sold-out event that will honor a political powerhouse. Nancy Pelosi, the former Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, will be at the university's Biden Institute. President Biden's sister Valerie chairs the institute. Pelosi will be honored with the 2023 Woman of Power and Purpose Award at Mitchell Hall tomorrow night. Pelosi, a Democrat, has represented San Francisco for more than 35 years and is the 52nd Speaker of the House of Representatives. She made history in 2007 as the first woman to serve in that role. In news from Sussex County, a house fire broke out Monday afternoon and it is under investigation. The 2-alarm blaze was reported just after 1 p.m. on the 400 block of Highland Drive. Flames could be seen shooting out of the roof. Fortunately, no one was at home at the time, and the fire had no injuries involved. The total damages have been estimated at $300,000. To health news now, a frightening rise in a respiratory virus commonly known as RSV. Cases are being compounded by a scarcity of vaccines. Health officials alerted patients on Wednesday that the CDC cannot fulfill all vaccine appointments due to national shortages. Overwhelming demand has outstripped the manufacturer's expectations, resulting in a shortage across the country. RSV, a common respiratory virus, causes mild cold-like symptoms and particularly affects children under the age of 2. While most recover within a week or two, severe cases can occur, especially in infants and older adults. RSV is the leading cause of bronchitis and pneumonia in babies. Health officials advise parents to keep sick children at home, limit contact, crowded areas, and discourage visits from sick individuals. And just in time for the holidays, a local food distribution company is doing its part to help families in need. Dot Foods came to the rescue today. A truck loaded with $6,000 worth of non-perishable items for the food pantry at Southern Elementary School was delivered. DOT workers unloaded that special delivery. This effort is all part of the company's Neighbor to Neighbor program. HR manager Nikisha Williams-Bailey says DOT Foods is committed to bringing jobs and more to Delaware, where one of the company's distribution facilities is located.
Our founders, Mom and Pop Dot, RT and Dorothy Tracy, is one of the things that they love. They love to give. They want to bring a big building. They want to bring jobs, but we also want to serve and leave an imprint on the community. And we're Dot Foods. Nowhere around us should there be food insecurity when we have a $10 billion company like Dot Foods nearby.
The pantry serves families in need at 3 schools in the Colonial School District. They are Southern and Wilbur Elementary, along with Gunning Bedford Middle. The Food Bank of Delaware celebrated the graduation of 19 students from its specialized culinary training program for adults with disabilities. The program, called the Kitchen School, spanned 12 weeks. It included hands-on kitchen training and on-site job coaching, all preparing students for permanent employment. The graduation ceremony featured certificates and a luncheon prepared by the graduates, emphasizing their culinary skills. Executive Chef Tim Hunter highlighted the students' unique gifts, challenging attendees not to see them as challenged, but as individuals with valuable abilities. In other downstate news, the public is invited to get a look at the new police department in Milford. A ribbon-cutting ceremony is scheduled for Tuesday, December 10th at 10 a.m. Additional open houses will be held on the following Wednesday afternoon from 1 to 5, and on Thursday from 4 to 8. The new police station is located at 401 Northeast Front Street in Milford. And in Rehoboth Beach, residents and visitors say they're all for a new parking garage. That was one of the main responses from a parking and traffic survey. Anyone who has visited the beach town in the summer knows parking is always a challenge. City commissioners will take a closer look at the survey on Monday. A finalized report is due in the spring. And finally, tonight, the Delaware Department of Transportation is holding its annual Name That Plow contest for children again. DelDOT officials say it's a fun way to raise awareness about all of the work that goes on when it snows and when there's ice to remove. One winner will be picked from each county, and a snowplow will visit each school of the winners. A student or class can make a submission. To enter, go to the website on your screen by 11:59 on Friday, December 8th. Last year, more than 150 submissions were made. The winning entries were Darth Blader, Snow Crusher, and Scoop Dog. We can't wait to tell you what this year's winning entries will be, so get those names in. And I'm sure the kids are all hoping DelDOT snowplows push through some snow so they'll get some days off from school. That's going to do it for this edition of DETV News. Be sure to hit that like and share button on all social media platforms. I'm Lauren Wilson. Thanks for watching.